welcome back. So in today's video, I just wanted to give you my 5 and 6 and part of 7 week pregnancy update. So today as I'm filming this, I am 7 weeks and 2 days. Obviously by the fact that I'm chipper and I have even filmed this or published these videos, that means everything is okay with the baby. So in my week 4 or 5 update, I don't remember what I called it, last week or 2 weeks ago when I filmed that, I was pretty sad, like pretty pessimistic. I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant, but I have a history of miscarriages, multiple miscarriages. So I'm very like negative about it. My lab results on the first round came back with low progesterone again. And I was like, oh God, here we go again. Like this is not good. As it turns out, everything seems to be okay. So on the day I turned 6 weeks, my doctor said he did want to go ahead and see me. Normally they don't see people that early, but because I've had a history, of issues, he wanted to see me right away, and he knows I'm anxious, So he's willing to see me. So I got in there at the day I turned 6 weeks. Now there was a discrepancy of my dates because I ovulated late, longer cycles, blah, blah, blah. So he agreed with me that by last menstrual period, I would be 7.5 weeks on that date. But given that I had my HCG drawn on the day I was 10 days post-ovulation, 3 weeks and 3 days or something like that, pregnant, my HCG came back at just 21. So he knew I couldn't be a week and a half ahead of where I would be based on ovulation date. So we are not going by last period, we're going by last conception date, or, my ovulation date. So with that, the day I went in, I was actually 6 weeks, not 7.5. Like the front desk girl when scheduling me, she didn't understand all that. And I was like, whatever, he wants to see me. He thinks I'm 7.5 weeks, but I'm only 6, like whatever. Sorry, drinking water. She scheduled me anyway. I was like, okay, well, if he refuses to do an ultrasound because I'm only 6 weeks, like boo. But anyway, I got in there, saw him. They redrew, my general basic prenatal labs. I got blood typing, even though they already know my blood type, RPR screen, chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV test, some other tests like that, blood cell counts, I think they did. And everything came back normal, good, negative, fine, whatever the correct value is for those. That's what mine was. It was all good. They did not retest my HCG on that date because they'd already tested it a few times or twice the previous weeks, and it was fine. So he assumes it's going up, and he knows that as time goes on, your HCG levels go up, but they don't go up as quickly. And so he didn't want to worry about that if the ultrasound is what matters at this point. At 6, 7, 8 weeks pregnant, it's about what they see on the ultrasound, not what your HCG levels are, because those can be deceiving. I know from the past that my HCG with my pregnancy with twins last summer was, my HCG was going up and up and up and up. It was 50 something thousand. It was looking good. And then the HCG just kind of stopped growing very high very quickly. And he was like, well, I don't care because you were already 8 or 9 or 10 weeks. He's like, what I care about is what's on the ultrasound. And the ultrasound didn't show anything. So I came back a week later, ultrasound didn't show anything moving along. And then we ended up, I had to have a D&C. But long story short, I knew that the lab results weren't, the most important thing. What was important was the ultrasound. So I had an ultrasound, a transvaginal one. And there is a baby. There is a sac. There was an embryo, a yolk sac, just a fetal pole, all that stuff. It measured to size. Actually, it measured 1 day ahead of what I thought. So I thought I was 6 weeks. He said I was 6 weeks and 1 day. And I was like, fine, because I got a positive ovulation test on this date and this date. So it could have been the day before, or not the day I thought So we changed my date by 1 day, just because he said the ultrasound is better, more accurate. There was a flutter in the inside of the baby, you couldn't just hear the heartbeat. You couldn't see the lines indicating there was a heartbeat, but you could see the flutter in the chest. And then he went ahead and did the audio for a heartbeat, and it sounded a lot like this, like white noise, static, and then occasionally you would hear in there. And so he's like, I can tell there's a heartbeat. It's the starts of a heartbeat. It was only 6 weeks and 1 day. So he's like, the flutter is good. What I'm hearing is good, but it's not consistent. And they're very slow for, when they first get the heartbeat. It can be 110 to 120 beats per minute. And then by the, later it'll be 140 to 170, and that's fine too. So he was like, I'm not worried about it at this point. I see what I need to see, so we're good. Let's just have you pee in a cup and go get your blood drawn, and I'll see you back in 10 days. So that was on a Monday afternoon. I'm coming back on Wednesday morning, 9 days, whatever. Not quite 9 days. And he's hoping that this ultrasound at 7 weeks and 3 days, which will be tomorrow, will show the heartbeat and that I can like kind of relax a little bit. I am still taking progesterone vaginally, which is great, 200 milligrams a day at bedtime. And he said I will continue to do so until he tells me not to, but I think that'll be about 9 or 10 weeks. I don't have enough pills now to last that long, so I'll get a refill, but it may just tell me to finish that bottle too. There was like 30 days in there, and then not refill again. I don't know how he wants to do that. I think your progesterone is just until your like placenta is like developed and takes over, so perhaps that's like 9 or 10 weeks, and that's why he told me that. I don't know. Anyway, he also gave me a prescription for clindamycin, or Cleocin, I think it's called. And I got the generic of that, and it's just a lotion for acne. I have it on my face and on my back. I didn't want to use salicylic acid, obviously. I think that's like category C or maybe B. But I had been using benzoyl peroxide, but I just didn't feel good about it. I just wanted something that was prescribed by my doctor. My acne was like out of control. Like my back acne is so bad, or was. And so I didn't feel like the benzoyl peroxide was doing anything. And he's like, all right, I can give you this prescription for clindamycin, but I'm just telling you it doesn't work very well. He's like, the reason it's pregnancy safe is that it's not very like potent, but it's better than nothing. Like you can try it. It's like, it works for some women, but it's not like the strongest stuff. So go ahead. Well, I can tell it's a lot better. I do have like some major spots here, but my skin is finally reacting. And that was only like 8 days ago that I started using it. So I'm feeling a little better about the acne. And I just feel like I just need to hang on to this little one, So I'm hoping at my appointment tomorrow that all is good. And but let's just talk about, go ahead, real quick, symptoms. Oh my gosh, I've had some crazy symptoms, but I've been so tired. The fatigue is unreal. Like I took, on my birthday, Saturday, January 5th, I took like 4 naps. Not even kidding you, I have a toddler. I took 4 naps. I was like, honey, I need to go lay down. Honey, I need to go lie down. And he's like, okay. And I would sleep for 15 minutes, or just lie in bed for a half hour and then come back out and play with the baby and, my toddler. And I had to. And I was so nauseous. I still am. I have been throwing up anywhere from like 2 to 5 times a day. I can't really say it's always one rhyme or reason, like, oh, I didn't eat often enough, or I didn't eat enough, or I ate something spicy, or I ate too much, or, it's like every reason you can imagine. There was something stinky. I have thrown up twice after changing a poopy diaper of my daughter's though. So I think that is definitely a cause. The trash smelling bad, walking into a bathroom when someone just pooped, like I am like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. There was like a dirty dish, a pan that we cooked in that was soaking by the sink, like, it was like stuck on food, so we just put some water in it and we were gonna clean it the next day. I don't know, my husband or somebody was gonna clean it, but it was still there the next day and I could like smell it, and like the sink drain like wasn't cleaned out, and so we have like a stopper that catches crap, and it was like full of like food remnants of like I don't know how many days worth, and it was disgusting to me, and I was like, ugh. And then I saw a piece of my husband's food that looked slimy and unappetizing, and I lost it and I had to go dry heave. And it's funny because my in-laws just moved in on Friday. They moved into our basement, and my mother-in-law's like, I can hear when you're puking. I'm like, cool, well, welcome home. Welcome to your new house. This is my life. If you didn't know, I wasn't diagnosed with HG, hyperemesis gravidarum, I think it's called, something like that, with my daughter Daisy, but I did throw up from week 10 to week 41. I had good times, I had bad times. I had a few times there in the 2nd and 3rd trimester where I didn't throw up every single day. I might have skipped, but I threw up every single week. And I did go to realize that it was a lot of like acid. Antacids really helped. Zantac was like my best friend. Once I realized that it wasn't morning sickness anymore and it was more like acid problems, I started changing my diet just a little bit and stopped eating as acidic of foods, and that seemed to help. But I'm not there yet with this pregnancy. I do just think this is morning sickness, and I'm hoping it passes, but I am only 7.5 weeks, so I expect a little bit, that's fine. I'll tolerate it for a little while, but I will talk to my doctor tomorrow and see if on the days when it's really bad, if he can give me like just a handful of those pills, the Zolfran or whatever, just something where they put me out though. You know, they make me so tired. So I just want a few. I don't want to take it every day. I don't even want to take it every week. I just would like to know that I have them so that if it's just like getting super bad, I can just take one of those, go into bed, and I'm fine. But I've had to like eat in the middle of the night. I have to pee all the time. I have to get out of bed to go pee in the middle of the night, sometimes twice. And that's awful because then once I'm up, I need to eat because my stomach is empty, I get nauseous. And I want to throw up, and then I'm just dry heaving because I haven't eaten, and it's just awful. So, ugh. And then I feel bad peeing in the middle of the night because I take the progesterone vaginally, and I feel like when I pee, it like leaves my system. So like the baby is not getting all of the medicine that it's supposed to be getting, but I gotta pee, man. It's your fault, kid. But yeah, I don't really have a bump yet, but I am starting this pregnancy a lot heavier than I was with my daughter. So I kind of have a bump, but it ain't baby. And, you know, I asked my doctor like what I could do, and he just said, you know, eat well, exercise, drink lots of water, get rest, listen to your body. I'm like, okay, cool. Lately I've been really craving certain foods like bread, potatoes, sour cream was like a big thing for a while. I've been having like a lot of cream of wheat rolls, dry cereal, like plain Cheerios or plain Life Original cereal, just dry. Stuff like that. I had like a banana day or two. I had a day I really craved blueberries. I want like fruity desserts, like, you know, strawberry shortcake or something like that. But yeah, I've had like different modes of this pregnancy. I like really wanted Mexican food, and then I threw up all of the Mexican food, and then I was like, I don't want Mexican food. Now I'm back to wanting it. We're going out tonight with my mom for my birthday dinner a few days late. Everybody was sick and it was just bad timing. But she's like, what do you want to eat? I'll take you to a restaurant. I'm like, I have no idea. And I just decided today, like 6 hours before we're going to go, I was like, I want steak. I want steak, and I want a baked potato, and I want a roll, a lot of bread. She's like, okay, we can go to Outback or something like that. I'm like, yes. Okay, cool. So we're going to do that tonight. If you can tell, I'm feeling a little better today. I haven't thrown up yet today, which it is like noon. That's amazing. Come on, that's like a record. In the last 2 weeks, I've thrown up every day, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 times before noon. So feeling really good about that. It does tend to stay around mostly in the morning, but I am nauseous all day. I've devised kind of like a grading system on how I'm feeling. So an A would be like, I feel really good. I'm like, woo, you know, awesome. I'm like moving around, getting stuff done. A B is like, I could feel better, but I'm like, whatever. C is, you don't feel good, but you know, you're making it. D is bad, and F is like, I am currently puking or about to puke. I have been sitting at a C for like 2 weeks, where the slightest bad smell sends me down to a D and an F. If I've gotten a lot of sleep, if I've eaten something that agrees with me, if there are no stinky smells and nothing gross to me that I have to look at visually, I can go from a C to a B with a nap. You know, I feel pretty good. And I don't really get to an A very frequently, but I've been at a C, D, and an F for like 2 weeks straight. Sorry if you hear the dog, somebody's at the door. Anyway, that is it for my update. I will update you more after the next ultrasound. It'll probably be my 7 and 8 week, maybe 7, 8, 9 week pregnancy update. Bear with me. I know these videos are kind of few and far between, but I'm trying to get them up. Thanks for watching. Bye.